Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a new week, a new edition of the Playmakers Bar podcast. This is your NFL edition. You know me, your host, Darnell, the Playmaker Silence. You know my co-host, Dallas Flynn. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I've had time to heal.
So, today's episode, as usual, we're going to recap our teams. We're going to recap the week before. We're going to discuss the week ahead. So, first up on the list is Dallas Jacksonville Jaguars. The floor is yours.
A lot of times when fans root for their teams or whatever, they do this thing called Monday morning quarterbacking, do this thing called armchair GMing, and for whatever reason, there's other fans that say, oh, well, why don't you be the GM? Or, oh, what's the highest level of football you've played in? I've noticed that when you talk about front office decisions, I noticed when you talk about higher level things and just what happened on the field, where the quarterback should have thrown, blah, 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 it almost becomes like politics. But the weirdest thing that I see in sports fandom is that Dan Snyder and James Dolan are two of the worst owners in all of professional sports. And when it's time to figure out why the Knicks aren't in the playoffs, when it's time to figure out why the Knicks haven't gotten a free agent acquisition, when it's time to figure out why the Redskins are a continuous dumpster fire, we all know who to point to. It's funny how we stop blaming the players on the field. It's funny how we stop blaming the GM who answers to the VP of football operations. It's funny how we stop blaming the head coach who answers to both of them. And it's funny how, after a while, we just stop talking about anybody who falls under the authority of the owner of the franchise. Jacksonville Jaguars fans who have been fans for the team for a while, and, God bless those of you who decided to jump on board in 2017. I feel for you. I deeply empathize with you because you did not sign up for this. But for those of us who have been here before 2017, we had a guy named Wayne Weaver, his beautiful wife, Dolores Weaver, such a lovely lady. But we also had a GM named Gene Smith. And Gene Smith probably drafted and let go of more Super Bowl champions and Pro Bowlers than I ever thought this franchise would see. In the 90s, this team was damn good, and we had a lot of Pro Bowlers. We had two chances to maybe become Super Bowl champions, but, stuff doesn't fall the right way all the time. For whatever reason, it takes a new owner in Shahid Khan to finally get rid of Gene Smith and give the new blood, Dave Caldwell, a chance. Dave Caldwell drafted Jalen Ramsey. Dave Caldwell drafted Leonard Fournette. Dave Caldwell drafted in the later rounds Telvin Smith, Quincy Williams, Leon Jacobs. Jawan Taylor, he's looking really good like a stud. Josh Allen, the first-round pick, he's looking really good like a stud. But GMs don't just draft. GMs also re-sign and find free agents. Now, good owners, the Robert Krafts. Good owners, the president of the holding company that runs the San Antonio Spurs. Good owners, Dr. Buss, God rest his soul. Usually stay the hell out the way. Usually when you're an owner and you stay out the way and you build a good front office infrastructure, good things happen. Tom Coughlin, when he was the head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars in the franchise's inception, got the team to 2 AFC Championship game appearances. The team was always competitive. The team was high-flying. Mark Brunell made 3 Pro Bowls, was throwing for 4,000 yards back before it was cool. Then he went to New York. It was a bad exit. Tom Coughlin couldn't get the franchise over the hump, and the franchise never got back to the hill since. After that, like many other former Jaguars, Tom Coughlin goes on to have massive success. Coaches a Hall of Fame quarterback, Hall of Fame defensive end, borderline Hall of Fame running back if Tiki Barber could have kept his mouth shut. And he beat the Patriots twice in the Super Bowl. One of those Super Bowls was derailing the undefeated season. So you can't really blame Shad Khan for thinking that Tom Coughlin, his advanced age, for thinking that Tom Coughlin, who had just came off a stint working in the NFL front office, was going to be the guy to lead the franchise to the promised land. You can't blame Shahid Khan for believing in a general manager that got the franchise's biggest superstar ever in his albeit brief Jaguars career. You can't blame Shad Khan for David Caldwell and Tom Coughlin finding Josh Allen, who right now leads rookies in sacks. You can't blame Shad Khan for wanting to be as stable as possible because in a catastrophic year, in a rebuilding year, Mike Tomlin still has the Pittsburgh Steelers in the playoff hunt. You can't blame Shad Khan for trying to see the glass as half full and not half empty because as Booger McFarland said on Monday Night Football, games in this league are lost a lot more than they are won. But at a certain point, you have to realize Jalen Ramsey isn't on the team anymore. At a certain point, you have to realize Tom Coughlin and Dave Caldwell might have drafted the quarterback of the future in the same season that they overpaid a career backup who got hot 2 seasons. They might have overpaid a linebacker who is playing out of position, which means that Miles Jack should really be an outside linebacker focused on pass coverage instead of being a thumping middle linebacker. You've got a front office that doesn't like to admit they were wrong. Instead of realizing that Blake Bortles wasn't the answer and it was Leonard Fournette and the running game and the defense that got you to the AFC Championship game in 2017, you doubled down on Blake Bortles and basically ruined the season and ruined the team morale. I say all that to say, Shad Khan is the reason why the Jacksonville Jaguars are in the situation that they are in. You can respect an owner for not wanting to blow up the franchise in the middle of the season. You can respect the owner for wanting to go get his quarterback because he has realized that quarterbacks win games in this league, not running backs, not quarterbacks, not even pass rushers. Shad Khan has probably made every correct decision you can make. The problem is everybody else hasn't followed suit. And at some point as an owner, you have to realize fans aren't coming to the stadium because the team is not winning. It doesn't matter how many video monitors you put up. It doesn't matter how many pools you add. Lot J does not matter. Renovations do not matter. You do not need a new stadium. You do not need to play an extra game in London. You have to win. And you have to figure out a way to win. If the Jacksonville Jaguars had the brand that the Dallas Cowboys have, you'd be okay. You can build your nice little stadium. You can sell your merch. And you can give fans just enough hope. You can be 5-3. You can be 6-5. You can be second place in the division. And you can be going straight towards 8-8. And the fans would be happy because, well, you know we're in the Super Bowl next year, right? But the Jaguars, unfortunately, are not the Dallas Cowboys. Probably never will be. Because Jerry Jones, as inept as he's been lately, won 3 Super Bowls in the 90s. The fix is simple, Shad Khan. The fans are saying it. And instead of accusing everybody of being an armchair GM or a Monday morning quarterback, you might want to look at the merits of everybody's argument.
Well, the state of the Jacksonville Jaguars from Dallas Glenn himself. Very nice soliloquy, sir. So now, let's get to my Rams. Sunday Night Football against the Chicago Bears. Dallas?
Mm-hmm.
As we were expected, not many points were being scored.
This is true.
What we didn't expect, but what you've been asking for, and what everybody else been asking for Todd Gurley to get the ball.
Run the damn ball.
Todd Gurley damn near had 100 yards rushing.
How many carries?
Let me go find out for you right now, sir. So we give the ball to Todd Gurley. Jared Goff doesn't have to throw much.
Well, you know.
Khalil Mack couldn't even touch Goff.
Andrew Whitworth, man. And you know all the chipping and scheming and tight ends.
25 carries for Todd Gurley, 97 yards, 1 touchdown. On the flip side, Mitchell Trubisky, 24 for 43, 190, 1 touchdown.
It's a lot of short passes, Darnell.
43 throws.
190 yards.
You would think that's supposed to be Jared Goff's numbers, throwing 43 times. Mitchell Trubisky barely throwing anything. No, that's not what happened. The reverse happened. That's why you have a final score of 17-7 on Sunday Night Football. Aaron Donald had 2 sacks.
Sad thing is, Darnell, I'm looking. My math is right. 23 carries between Tariq Cohen and David Montgomery. Not enough. I mean, you want to aim for 30 plus. The Rams ran the ball, let's see, 8, 25, technically Josh Reynolds. And you're looking at about 33, 34 carries. You want to be above 30 as a team when your quarterback is having as much trouble as Mitch Trubisky is. But, you know, that day, Matt Nagy.
Did Jared Goff even throw 15 passes?
He threw 18. Yeah, you ran my style of football, whether you believe it or not.
We definitely did. And it definitely came up with a victory.
You ain't got to blow teams out. You just got to win.
Style points don't matter in the NFL. Handle your business. That's all you got to do. You handle your business. Dallas?
Mm-hmm.
I'm still ain't happy.
Oh, you shouldn't be. Because the context of the situation, you didn't avenge the loss from last year. The Bears are in a collapse. We don't know the figurehead. We don't know who from the figurehead is getting gone after this year. You got Mitch Trubisky, quarterback, Nagy, head coach, and Ryan Pace.
By the way, we still to go up 10. Next thing you know, Chase Daniels in the game. With over 3 minutes to go in the game.
And all I know
they say him injured, a hip point.
All I know is the footage they showed of Matt Nagy talking in Mr. Trubisky's ear and Mr. Trubisky holding back tears does not sound like you're hurt. I know you're hurt. For whatever reason, you're an NFL quarterback. For whatever reason, you're our present, not our future, not our past. But I'm going to sit you because of your hip. No, you're not a college player that's not making any money by playing for my university. You're not somebody who I just cost millions in a year of professional, enjoyment. No, you're my present. You're the one that we drafted number 2 overall. And because your hip is kind of sort of feeling funny, I'm going to bench you. I'm going to protect you.
Matt Nagy threw in the towel after we scored to go up 10. Well, 3 minutes left to go.
Which is amazing because Matt Nagy is the one who wants to run this pass-heavy spread offense for Mr. Trubisky. Matt Nagy is the one who doesn't want to pick between David Montgomery or Tariq Cohen. Matt Nagy is the one who just doesn't want to say, you know what, you're a running back, right? Yeah, run the ball. Catch the ball until I say stop. You get touches until I'm tired. Make Mitch look good. No. Matt Nagy wants to dig this hole for himself. Matt Nagy doesn't want to run the ball. Matt Nagy wants to run shotgun all damn game. And now he wants to bench Mitch when he actually runs the damn scheme that's supposed to get you back from 10 down, Darnell?
Matt Nagy conceded on Sunday Night Football. I'm here to tell y'all that right now. I don't care what anybody else. I don't care what the touchdown people got. But I looked at and what I saw, Matt Nagy conceded after we went up 10.
I ended up seeing a little bit of the press conference. That man sounds like he's at peace. He doesn't sound like he just derailed the franchise. He doesn't sound like he just mortified his quarterback on national television. He doesn't sound like he might have just cost himself or his general manager the job. He sounds like he is at peace. He sounds like, you know what? I'm tired. I tried to do Ryan a solid. I've been trying to do Mitch a solid. I'm tired. I hate this offense. We're wasting Khalil Mack's career. Kyle Fuller just declined on me. Like, he sounded at peace at that press conference. Like, he did what was right for him.
But now some of y'all are listening saying, but you didn't tell us why you're not happy. Oh, let me get to that. That is telling who my refs got to deal with on Monday Night Football.
Oh, you got to deal with that bad man, Lamar Jackson.
We still got 2 meetings with the Arizona Cardinals. Did you see how they look against San Francisco?
Cliff Kingsbury and Kyler Murray.
Oh, by the way, Dallas, the point I was trying to make weeks ago about San Fran stretch ain't come yet. I don't believe in that team. I believe you're starting to see why.
I think the whole league is starting to see why. The record's still good, but I mean, everybody wants to make, hey, Jimmy Garoppolo passed for 400 yards and 40 touchdowns, but look at his stats against the Cardinals, look at his stats against everybody else.
They need every bit of it to beat the Cardinals. Oh, by the way, we still got to meet with those same 49ers in Santa Clara. Should I continue? We still got another date with the Seattle Seahawks in Los Angeles. Oh, by the way, we're going to the $1 billion playpen to take on the Dallas Cowboys Week 15.
I've seen some Rams fans on Twitter, and it's laughable. But I've seen some Rams fans on Twitter actually say Jalen Ramsey is rusty. Jalen Ramsey is getting back in form. Y'all just wait. Bro. What? Like, what?
I'm not even going to get into that. I was watching Get Up. And they asked Dominique Foxworthy because they showed the pictures of all the teams in the NFC who was battling for a playoff. It's 8 teams battling for 6 spots, okay?
Mm-hmm.
They showed the percentages of these teams. The Rams was at 19%. They asked Dominique Foxworthy this question: which 2 teams would not make the playoffs? First one he said was the Philadelphia Eagles. And quite honestly, that's very understandable, and I actually agree with him. The second team, in which the most disrespectful thing I heard this was.
No.
He said the Seattle Seahawks.
No. Any reason but that reason. Tell me he said anything but the reason.
He said the Seattle Seahawks would not make the playoffs.
What was the reason?
My agreement to him said, I'm surprised you think the Rams are going to make the playoffs. I'm looking at TV like, do you not see our schedule? Matter of fact, that whole division has to San Fran has to tough remaining schedule left from this point on. We somewhere within the top 5. Seattle's in there too, and Arizona's in there. First of all, this means everybody in the division still has to play each other.
What was Dominique Foxworth's reasoning for the Seahawks not making the playoffs?
The team around Russell Wilson is insane. They're not that good. This man went to Seattle. Went to San Francisco on Monday Night Football against an undefeated team who had the best record in the league and beat them in overtime, despite him throwing that stupid behind interception.
So,
now, granted, he did lose to a backup, Teddy Bridgewater, in this New Orleans Saints. Granted, he did get shot over by Lamar Jackson or Ravens.
Hold on. You put some respect on Teddy B's name. A lot of people lost that backup quarterback. A lot of people who were supposed to be in playoff contention lost to that quarterback.
Yeah, I get it. But in what world? Matter of fact, who's the Rams friends on this podcast? That would be me, right?
It's supposed to be.
What did I say 2 weeks ago about the state of the LA football team?
Which one?
Both of them.
Well, one's going to be in St. Louis soon, so.
No playoffs in LA. Didn't I say that?
Yep.
And you telling me the Seattle Seahawks, who are 8-2 coming off a bye week, are going to fall apart and the Rams are going to get in? That's what you're telling me, Dominique Foxworthy? Is that what you're telling me?
Now, from the perspective of somebody who looks more at ownership and their decisions and the top down instead of bottom up. If I'm the owner of the Los Angeles Rams, Dominique Foxworthy better be right. Because you paid Jared Goff and you gave Jacksonville a haul. I don't know why you keep taking Jacksonville's leftovers and giving them picks for them. Like they're supposed to work for us. I don't have any first round picks. And you saddle me with this damn quarterback, you better make the playoffs. The problem is, though, your logic is Russell Wilson, an MVP candidate, which means most valuable player, which is supposed to mean if he's not on his team is shit, is leading a shit team to the playoffs. If San Francisco collapses, Seattle has some tiebreakers? Come on now. Dominique, what? Because see now, Darnell, he played corner. He had a long career. He actually did it.
Look, I would have been more comfortable if he had said San Francisco. But you know who San Francisco got to deal with?
Who?
They got to deal with the same referencing that we got to deal with on Monday Night Football. They got to deal with that bad man Aaron Rodgers on Sunday Night Football this week. They still got another meeting with us. They still got another meeting with the Seattle Seahawks.
Here's what I don't understand about the teams that have that great defense one year. Minnesota and us were in 2017. This year it's New England and San Francisco, even though New England is New England. But New England's winning defensively this year. New England and San Francisco. Nobody really bought Blake Bortles or Case Keenum in 2017. This year, well, last year, it was Chicago. Chicago, Mitch Trubisky, he looked better. He made the Pro Bowl, but nobody was really looking at the Bears last year as like, oh, Mitch Trubisky's going to figure it out in the playoffs. This year now, you're looking at San Francisco and New England. Well, we know Tom Brady and Bill Belichick have gotten it done before. They're 9-1, and Tom Brady's looking defeated. They have such a high standard over there. If teams were 9-1 with crappy offense, they would be trying to ride that wave forever.
Tom Brady's pissed.
But, bro, that is the Patriots' standard. They're 9-1 with a historic defense, and Tom Brady's pissed at 42. Now, you mean to tell me, Dominique Foxworthy, that you're going to take Jimmy Garoppolo over Russell Wilson, and you're going to take Jared Goff over Russell Wilson? You mean to tell me that Russell Wilson, Jared Goff, and Jimmy Garoppolo, because Russell Wilson has a crappy team around him, that's going to be your excuse? Not that Jared Goff has basically held that franchise hostage now? Not to mention,
you're disrespecting Chris Carson,
who's only a top 5 running back again.
You're disrespecting Tyler Lockett,
who doesn't have to play. Even when he plays major corners, it doesn't matter. Like, you're disrespecting your Jadeveon Clowney. You're disrespecting the linebacking core. You
know how I feel right now. I feel now I know what Stephen A. felt like when he had to go back at match because he had to defend the Cowboys because people made him defend it. I know how it feels because I don't like Seattle. Well, what in the world makes you? This team is 8.
So you're taking Kyle Shanahan and Sean McVay over Pete Carroll. You're taking
Sean McVay versus Pete Carroll. That can go either way.
How many rings does Pete Carroll have?
Pete Carroll has a ring.
And how many Super Bowls has he been to?
He's been to 2.
And would you say that on paper the Rams roster is better than the Seahawks roster?
Yes, I would say that. The Rams roster is better.
I mean, and who was the quarterback that Pete Carroll beat to win his Super Bowl?
Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
I'm saying, ever since Sean McVay became a head coach, you can give a slight edge to Pete Carroll, but it ain't no big gap right there now. Ain't no big gap.
You can say that. All I know is that you guys have a team that the quarterback has to play up to. Pete Carroll has a quarterback that can carry the team. And he's in charge of roster building. Pete Carroll's the de facto GM of the Seattle Seahawks.
But,
So, I mean, bro,
just to put a bow on this, Dominique Foxworthy, I appreciate that you chose to Rams and make the playoffs and all that. It ain't happening. We can win the rest of these games and we'll be 10-4. Telling me Seattle ain't gonna be 10-4 at least.
Well, 10-6, but
I mean, 10. Yeah.
I mean, bro, like 10 wins. Besides the NFC East and maybe the 6th seed in the AFC, 10 wins is like the minimum this year. You got to have 10 wins to have a shot. If you're thinking of trying to fall in as first at 8-8 or 9-7, prepare to be picking for the draft.
The only team that's going to get in like that is the winner of the damn East Division. So, I'm sorry, all my LA fans, Rams and Chargers fans, get over. We got to get through 2 games with Arizona. We still got another game with San Francisco, another game with Seattle. We still got to go to Dallas, and we all know who's coming to the Coliseum for Monday Night Football. So just let's let it go. I'm sorry to tell you this. We might get double-digit win season, but it's not gonna be enough. With that being said, we're gonna shift gears. We're gonna recap the rest of the week 11. Speaking of the NFC East, Dak Prescott beat a backup Jeff Driscoll in a shootout, Dallas and Detroit. Now I know Dak Prescott is playing for his money. Zeke Elliott got his money, right?
Yeah.
What is going on with Zeke Elliott?
Well, they don't pay running backs.
He's literally ain't doing nothing noteworthy this season.
Ain't doing nothing.
Dak Prescott around here throwing for 400 yards and 3 touchdowns like it ain't nothing. And everybody who gets a chance to celebrate, they want to do the Dak dance, because they call it now. But it's actually a workout for him to stretch. The reason why you heard Dallas did what he did, because the Colts beat the Jaguars as I predicted, because I knew what was going to happen. Because I knew, well, I ain't going to say I knew what was going to happen. Let's just say I made the right. Let's just say we picked it right when we said Baltimore was going to be Houston, but not like that.
Now you're in a situation where they tried to put the team in Nick Foles' hands. He threw the ball 47 times. They only ran the ball 9 times. They tried to justify the decision. They went all in because they understood that going to Nick Foles, after Gardner Minshew having the team at 500, in the thick of the playoff race, with a lot of division games coming up, and the Falcons and the Chargers and the Raiders coming up, they tried, and they failed.
Dude, back to me saying the Rams ain't gonna make the playoffs. We had one shot to make the playoffs. We had one shot. You know what happened?
Mm-hmm.
Denver blew a 20-point lead to Minnesota.
Damn. Well, there goes that tiebreaker.
So instead of Minnesota being 7-3 and us being 6-4, they are along with the 8-win class.
Dude, if the Jaguars were to go 8-8 this year, that would be a huge win. But it would also be a huge loss because 8-8 might save jobs.
I'm sitting here, I'm trying to watch as much games as I can. The corner of my screen is saying 20 Denver? Well, we might look up and get one. Some Kirk Cousins and these boys came out in the second half and threw the ball over the damn place on Denver. So San Fran 9-1, Green Bay 8-2, Minnesota 8-2, Seattle 8-2, New Orleans 8-2. I just literally we're at 5 teams that's 8-2 right now. I might be missing a team.
Well,
this what Atlanta Falcons. What? They came out from a bye week and they all of a sudden now they want to play. Now they want to play. You go to New Orleans and you beat New Orleans, then you go to Carolina and you beat them. Everybody in Atlanta is like, what was this doing the first half of the damn season?
And you know what the weird thing about Atlanta is? They have Grady Jarrett. They have Matt Ryan. They have Julio Jones. They have Calvin Ridley. I mean, you can get a running back in the draft with Devontae Freeman ain't cutting it no more. Like, bro, the Atlanta Falcons, the weirdest thing about them is they have the personnel. Now they have Austin Hooper coming out of nowhere. Like, Dan Quinn likes to pass that damn ball. Every time he has an offensive coordinator, he gets an offensive coordinator that likes to pass the ball. That's why he lost the Super Bowl. Because he doesn't want to run the ball. So now you have a tight end that's going to make the Pro Bowl this year. You have a number 2. You have a Hall of Famer. And you have Matt Ryan, who, field general. He's going to get the yards. So I don't get why now magically pass the ball a lot, try to stop the pass is working for the Atlanta Falcons after all these games. It's like every team for the past 2 weeks just walking into Atlanta like, oh, it's a gimme, and just getting like rocked. Our team, like, I'm lost.
The Atlanta Falcons. Really? Well, I tell you. Philadelphia. Lost to New England. That's no shame. Losing New England, most people do lose to New England. At this point in the season, you have slim margins for error for everybody. And y'all and the Cowboys, and man, one of y'all gonna go in with a very nice looking record. One of y'all gonna make it, the other one ain't. What you gonna do, Philly? Because right now, Dak is doing a whole lot better than Carson Wentz, right? Even though Carson, yet again, Nelson Aguilar dropping another touchdown. Alshon Jeffrey didn't play, but I don't think that would have made it. The best thing going for Wentz right now is the tight end, Tiger. That's I don't even know. I really don't. All right. Dallas, you want to get into what happened on Thursday Night Football? You can. I'm not getting.
Myles Garrett is appealing as of the time of this podcast. So there's that.
That's it.
It happened on a Thursday. Talked about it to death all the way to a Sunday. It's just me and you, so why get into the surrounding factors of who got suspended, who didn't, who got fined, chump change, who didn't? Yeah.
That's all I needed to know. Philip Rivers had an opportunity of a lifetime, Dallas, on Monday Night Football. Now they missed.
You know
he didn't have an opportunity.
You know what the sad thing is? Let me just say something real quick. I will not apologize for, just like the rest of Jacksonville, wanting Gus Bradley the hell out of town. However, I will say that I sympathize with Gus Bradley. To a point, I might even empathize with Anthony Lynn. Because Gus Bradley said, I need 2 bookend edge rushers, and that's really it. If you get me Derwin James, that's nice too. It's nice to always have a safety in a deep cover 3 shell, but I just need 2 bookend rushers.
Yes, that's for sure.
Defense, 3 or 4 straight possessions, got the ball back. Philip Rivers found a way to go 3 and out or turn the ball over every time. It's to a point where it's like, bro, we understand that you're never going to win a Super Bowl, but you can't do this. Punt returner fumbles and a team runs it back in an AFC Championship game. That's one thing. Run it, Melvin Gordon. The atrocious drops. Can't rely on him from screens. Can't rely on him for dump offs. Can't rely on him for that. But 4 picks, Philip. Yes, one was supposed to be a fumble, but 4 turnovers. The last interception, you were throwing a wheel route to a 5'7" running back in the corner of the end zone?
And you threw it short.
Wait, so you're going to throw a wheel route to a short running back in the corner of the end zone on 2nd down with 20 seconds left? You're down by 7. You're playing for overtime no matter what. Really, you're probably supposed to be. Go ahead.
The linebacker ain't have to do nothing. He threw that ball so short.
Truth be told, bro, in that situation, you're kind of sort of trying to find post hooks. 3rd down, you might want to try to just get closer. Underneath route. Try to give yourself a run or a pass, just a look. I don't trust Melvin Gordon in that situation because, you screwed your pooch. That being said, though, Hunter Henry was showing up that game. Keenan Allen double moves, in outs. Something. Give him a route. Give him a double route or something. Like, I just don't understand why you went to a wheel route in the corner to a short running back. Why did you? Like I said, Phillip Rivers is never going to win a Super Bowl. That's understandable. But all 7 losses by 1 possession or less. Darnell, you go out and you get Drew Brees in 2006 to win 1 possession games. You trade up to the 2nd pick to get Mitch Trubisky to win 1 possession games. You pay Nick Foles $88 million. You pay Kirk Cousins $84 million to win 1 possession games. You stay with Tom Brady until he turns into dust to win 1 possession games. If you're supposed to be a Hall of Fame caliber quarterback and you can't win me 1 possession games, what are we doing here? This same defensive coordinator ran this same defense when he was a head coach and got laughed out of his city. They don't ever want him to come back. This same defensive scheme, God bless Melvin Ingram. Joey Bosa probably has a higher curve than him, though. Now, out of the 2, he was better on Monday. But long-term, Joey Bosa, we're talking like maybe, down the road in 10 years, we're going to be talking about this brother. Melvin Ingram, he's been in the league for a while now. It is what it is. Pro Bowl level, don't know about the other stuff. Either way, those 2 are really it. Derwin James, God bless him, but he was hurt. Like, for the longest, last year and this year, those 2 bookends are basically the heart of that defensive scheme. And they got the ball back against Patrick Mahomes. Dude, they held Patrick Mahomes under 200 yards, Darnell. Darnell, think about that. Patrick Mahomes didn't pass for 200 yards.
And they lost Tyreek Hill in the second quarter of that game.
So one of your bookends is going slap off. Patrick Mahomes doesn't pass for 200 yards. And you get the ball back 4 times in the 4th quarter. It sucks because the LA Chargers are already hurting enough. But dude, they're going to be looking for quarterback.
This is the reason why every time y'all make these predictions and y'all always putting the Chargers somewhere up the top, Dallas comes back with this. Dallas comes back because of this kind of stuff.
I come with the hammer, the Polish hammer. Because just like these bandwagoners at the beginning of the year, sometimes people just got to be educated. Darnell, how many straight years has it been now where the Chargers in the preseason are supposed to be contenders? They're supposed to be the ones on the Chiefs' heels. And then this happens. We turn around and damn. Second round in the playoffs. Damn, they threw to a running back the entire time. Throwing wheel routes to running backs when they're blanketed.
Oh, boy. I'm going to say this one last time. There'll be no NFL football playoff for the city of Los Angeles.
Have you ever thought about starting your own podcast? It's a long process. It's a hard, thought-out process. Yeah, I know. I was there. From March of this year, thinking about how I'm going to do this, doing all my research, trying to get everything right. What platforms can we use and how we going to record it and how we going to make it sound good and make it all this happen. And then I came upon Anchor. The Anchor app on my phone, the easiest choice I could ever make to do a podcast. It's free to use. You don't got to pay for nothing. You can record episodes whenever you're ready. You can edit it and then you can release them when you want to. And you don't have to worry about trying to figure out how you're going to distribute it on other platforms because Anchor has partnerships with Spotify, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Breaker, Castbox, Pocket Cast, whatever you name it. Because the Playmakers Bar podcast is the podcast that I use. We're on all them platforms. We're on 9 platforms just by using the Anchor app. So pretty much all the questions that you have questions about doing a podcast, go to the Anchor app or go to the Anchor website, anchor.fm.com, and just search through it, ask questions. Because I tell you, a free app that does all this, there's nothing more you can ask for. I even got friends, they doing their podcast on the Anchor app. Faith Talk, you might have heard of it because it's very good. And it's great that It's an app like this. It's a website like this that makes it easier for people to do podcasts and do what they love best, talking about the things that they love to talk about. So give Anchor a try. Say how much you like it. We'll love to hear your podcast.
Now, with that being said, all right, let's go on to week 12, Dallas. First game on the docket is a doozy. It's round 2 between the Colts and the Texans down in Houston for Thursday Night Football.
Houston did what I always say the AFC South does. It's nice when they beat up on each other, but when it comes to actually proving that you're elite, when it comes time to prove that you're actually upper echelon, what do? You get absolutely styled on by Lamar Jackson. MVP race as far as Deshaun Watson is concerned. I mean, Vegas might still have him in, but bro, like, sorry.
Damn. 3.5. Sound like you're taking the Colts.
I am, because the Colts run the ball. The best way to keep an MVP caliber quarterback off the field is to not let him on the field. And also Darius Leonard and the rest of the defense, they're not shabby at all. Like, with J.J. Watt being hurt and Jadeveon Clowney being traded, the pass rush hasn't really stepped up for Houston. And with Quentin Nelson just pulling on pass plays, good Lord, I saw a film highlight. He just whammed Miles Jack. But yeah, picking the Colts with Jacoby Brissett, he seems to have figured it out. It seems like Frank Reich has figured it out. And the thing is, they're not going to ask Jacoby to do too much. All the passing that Jacoby does is built off the run and is there, quote unquote. Deshaun Watson has to pass to keep that team in the game. Carlos Hyde's doing a great job, but he's not going to be like a bell cow.
He's picking the Colts to sweep the Texans. Oh, that's what makes it so tricky.
To help your pick, though, Darnell, remember Marlon Mack had surgery on his hand.
Oh, I know. I know. Marlon Mack's out. They found another running back.
Then again, it could be skewed data because the Panthers' backup running back also had 100 yards against the Jaguars, but it could be skewed data. At the same time, that running game is really built with that offensive line and Quentin Nelson, not necessarily the running backs. Because Marlon Mack was a decent back before this year, but magically something clicked.
You know what, Dallas? There's one thing I know about NFL teams. If you get your ass whooped one week, you actually come back the next week with a vengeance. So I'm gonna bank on that on Houston because what Baltimore did, that was embarrassing.
That was rough. And that one run Mark Ingram had. God damn, I thought he was Lamar Jackson for a second. I had to double check the number. Mark Ingram.
Houston. So one, you got your ass whooped at home. You got your ass whooped last week in Baltimore. 2, the Colts already beat you 1, so you can't lose. You can't lose both games with the Colts. You can't.
Bro, as being a fan of the AFC South, if the Colts were to somehow win this division after retirement of Andrew Luck and paying Jacoby Brissett 2 years, $30 million, and basically taking it back, turning the clock back, ask for a realignment. Because we're talking Peyton Manning, Andrew Luck, Jacoby Brissett, just winning the division no matter who's under center. Just realign the division. Tired of it.
Carolina is at New Orleans, and I'm picking New Orleans.
I know what the hell happened to Carolina. Film. Every backup quarterback this season was looking good somehow. Film. New Orleans. The difference between Teddy Bridgewater, before we move on, the difference between Teddy Bridgewater and everybody else, though, we have to remember Teddy Bridgewater was the franchise quarterback of the Minnesota Vikings before they decided to give up on him after he almost lost his leg. For whatever reason, they thought Sam Bradford and Case Keenum, patchwork solutions at best, Kirk Cousins, long-term, hindsight being 2020, were better options than just having Teddy Bridgewater heal and come back. That being said, Kyle Allen is no Teddy Bridgewater. And the New Orleans Saints are about to have a field day.
I don't care if he is or wasn't. You going against Drew Brees in that dome.
See, you're looking at Drew Brees in the dome. I'm looking at the fact that run defense being just as legitimate as ever, and Cam Jordan being a beast power rusher off the edge. So, when you have moves and stuff like that, like underneath moves like what Frank Clark was doing on Monday, that's all well and good. Cam Jordan just bull rushes fools. And when you can bull rush right tackles at the NFL level consistently, it's just efficiency of movement. And when you're talking about bull rushing a right tackle in the backfield, poor Christian McCaffrey.
We had some flexing going on in Dallas, so
yeah, I heard about that update.
Also in the 1 o'clock slot with New Orleans and Carolina, Seattle's taking a trip to Philly.
I feel like they made it a 1 o'clock game because of Philly, and that should let you know everything about their playoff chances.
That lets you know who I'm picking.
Seattle.
4 o'clock slate. By the way, somehow, I don't even know how, but y'all got the 4 o'clock slate for the 4 or 5 between y'all and the Titans. Should be interesting to look at. But in bigger news, Dak Prescott versus Tom Brady. Jason Garrett versus Bill Belichick. Gillette Stadium, and if y'all recall 2 weeks ago, I already made this pick like 2 weeks ago, and yeah, New England.
I'm picking New England simply because, bro, if Zeke Elliott has been shut down for the most part by the teams they faced the past couple of weeks, you're basically saying don't even waste your time. Use Zeke as a receiver, but please do not try to run the ball.
Not forget, Tom Brady's still pissed off at 9-1.
They're gonna figure it out. Oh, and Isaiah Wynn is coming back off of IR. That is Marshall Newhouse is a turnstile. God bless him. Glad he got a couple checks, but Isaiah Wynn is coming back to save the day and give Tom Brady that extra half second. That will matter. DeMarcus Lawrence usually lines up on the right side. Isaiah Wynn is probably going to be on the left side. But even still, the Patriots use their running backs a lot.
Well, that'll be Robert Quinn.
Yeah. So we'll see. It's going to be a lot of running back dump-offs. Because that's really the best way to counter a team that runs a 4-3 with 2 bookends. The Chargers scheme is a little bit different because Melvin Ingram stands up. But, I mean, use the running back. Use James White. Have another historic day with James White. 15 receptions for 90 yards or something.
Sunday Night Football. Green Bay Packers with that bad man Aaron Rodgers are going to the Bay Area to take on the 49ers. Green Bay. I'm going with A-Rod.
I'm going with Green Bay too. Simply because, what I just mentioned, Aaron Jones is up there. Austin Eckler, Alvin Kamara tier when it comes to receiving running backs. And Aaron Rodgers is a good scrambler in the backfield. He'll be able to extend plays, but dumping off to Aaron Jones is what's going to make that pass rush back off. And if they can make that pass rush back off just a little bit and actually give Aaron Rodgers time to really get to work, it's not going to be a good day at the office. Jimmy G is going to have to show up again.
Not against that Green Bay defense.
He's going to have to. It don't matter who the other 11 are on the field, bro. You have to show up. Because if Aaron Jones gets cooking out the backfield, sorry, son. Time to get paid.
You're gonna have Preston Smith. You're gonna have Zach Smith coming at you from around the corners, boy. Just gonna tell you that now. And don't, bro. That secondary, y'all better hope Emmanuel Sanders is healthy because he might be the only one that can get through this second. Monday Night Football. Lamar Jackson, the video game quarterback that he is taking the Ravens into Los Angeles inside the Coliseum to take on Aaron Donald and the Los Angeles Rams.
I'm taking the Ravens, not just because Lamar is doing crazy Lamar things. Willie Snead and Mark Ingram, good God, Hollywood Brown. It's the fact that the skill positions have stepped up. It's the fact that Lamar Jackson doesn't have to run the ball 300 times. Lamar Jackson is getting, and as he should, the MVP talks and credit, but they built a team around him. That is a good team. They invested in Orlando Brown Jr. Marshall Yonda's there as a veteran presence. Like, top to bottom, that offense is legit. That being said, I mean, you got Marshall Yonda versus Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald might line up at DN on Orlando Brown. That's still going to be a fun matchup for me to watch. I just see that the Ravens as a team are just cooking. They're cooking on a level to where it's like they're not going to look ahead at games, but they're trying to compete for our AFC championship.
I'm surprised you missed the whole. I'm surprised you missed this big point. I'm surprised.
Is it about Jared Goff?
New England versus Baltimore. How did Sony Michel, James White look?
Not good.
Baltimore Ravens against the Houston Texans. How did Carlos Hyde look before he broke that 41-yard touchdown?
You really want me to sit here and talk about Todd Gurley going up against the Ravens? You really thought I was going to bring up Todd Gurley in any of this? Like, seriously, you really? So, hold on. You thought that I was going to bring up Todd Gurley not having a good performance in this game as a thing to watch?
Oh, that's exactly what's going to happen.
Bro, that's what's been happening. He just had a game against the Bears where he ran the ball with 20. He's hurt, okay? Get it through y'all head. He is hurt. He is not about to come back and have another 20 carries. And if he does, it's going to be for like 52 yards. He is hurt.
So you know what that means, right?
Uh-oh. Ravens by 14.
You do know who the safety is on the Ravens, right?
Oh, big fella. Big fella.
You do know who the cornerback is on the Ravens, right?
And who do you put Ramsey on, Hollywood or Willie Snead? Because either way, the other's going to be open.
Patrick Peterson. Marcus Peters is going to stay back there, wait for one passes from Derek Goff.
You're going to trade me for that, Bob? And no Marcus Peters, that's exactly what he's going to say.
He already got 2 pick sixes already.
The crazy thing is, Marcus Peters looks like Marcus Peters. We don't know what the hell was going on. Maybe he saw the writing on the wall or something when the key to leave. Was like, hey, man, I'm hearing some stuff.
Unlike last week, we probably won't be changing this pick.
Ugh.
We said Chicago on the pocket, but we changed it to the Rams. But I don't think this is gonna happen this week. Video game Jackson. Martin, bro. That defense, jeez. I don't like this. Perez going out to Robert Woods. He didn't play against Chicago for personal reasons. If you don't play this game either, I would not play. Boys, Brandon Cooks, I don't know. You might need to hang up your cleats on me, but these concussions is not really.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks because wide receiver is one of those positions where it's like, okay, do you have rings? Check. Have you played in Super Bowls? Check. Have you gotten the contracts? Check. Wide receiver is that position where it's like, dude, it's so hard to be a Hall of Famer when you get hurt as much as Cooks has. And when you're known to be a deep threat type, you got to think long term, bro. Like, if you're not playing for the Hall of Fame and you've already played in Super Bowls, then what are you really doing it for?
That's that. I am not a happy man, despite my Rams beat Chicago. They're on Lamar Jackson in the Ravens. It's not going to be easy.
The city of Jacksonville will be watching because
don't worry. The Jaguars, they are at Nashville. So I'm pretty sure that's what
that's full of human flesh. Nashville, Tennessee. It's a terrible, vile place to be. That being said, last week was terrible. But even though it was a division loss and even though it was bad, everybody's focusing on Nick Foles' performance and the offense's performance. Like I said earlier in the podcast, Shad Khan isn't giving a full mulligan, but he probably understands the context. That being said, bro, That's the second or third game you've allowed 200-plus yards rushing. You know what Tennessee's about to do. You know what's about to come. You know what's about to happen. Don't BS the media. Don't BS the fans. Don't give us some tired-ass post-game speech if Ryan Tannehill was looking really good. Nobody is checking for Ryan Tannehill. If you allow over 200 yards rushing this game to that freight train of a human being they call Derrick Henry from Yulee, I know it won't happen mid-season, but Darnell, if Derrick Henry has over 200 yards and the Jaguars get blown out purely because the Titans ran the ball, and everybody knows that's what the Titans do, you have to start wondering when. If it ain't going to be the Monday after, you have to start wondering when. And why would you make the fans wait all the way into the end of the season but complain about ticket sales? Somebody's going to have to get let go if you get blown out by the Titans, because we'll know exactly how you got blown out and that you made absolutely no defensive adjustments.
With that being said, don't think I forgot. Oh, trust me, I was saving this for last because I know my buddy Dallas was all on it on Saturday. So my good friend Dallas Glenn, I'm just gonna say a name and you take it from there, sir. Colin Kapernick.
Bro, this situation on both sides is a bad look. It's a bad look for the NFL because after 3 years, at the last minute, you want to tell Colin Kaepernick we have a workout for you. You also want to do the waiver where, like, if you don't get employed, blah, 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 blah. Now, having language in a waiver that says that you cannot hold the NFL liable for damages or whatever suffered by not being employed by an NFL team, honestly, should be, if it's not, standard language. Because a lot of dudes are out here flying to these cities from wherever they live and not getting jobs. The problem with Colin Kaepernick's context is that's legal language that you wanted him to sign, that if he didn't get employed, it's not the NFL's fault, when the whole discussion is he's not getting employed and it's the NFL's fault. On Colin Kaepernick's end, you have a workout with 25 NFL teams. Now, nobody's going to play dumb or be naive. Only a certain group of people are playing dumb and being naive, and we're going to ignore them. The NFL could have doctored your workout footage. The NFL could have told the 25 scouts in attendance to report back a certain narrative to their owners and head coaches. However, 25 teams at the Falcons facility, I'm not going to go Stephen A. I'm not going to go to that level. But at the same time, I can't go to Eric Reed's level either. Bro, when you moved the workout to the high school, you already have people there with your shirts and merchandise on. You flew in wide receivers on your dime. You knew what you were going to do. And you called out sick 30 minutes before the damn workout. I feel for those 8 scouts that still went to the Colin Kaepernick workout at the high school, because maybe they really do need a quarterback. Maybe they're really trying to give Colin Kaepernick a chance. Stephen A. Smith said that a lot of the people in attendance are from minority backgrounds and are in the GM pipeline. If it's not this year, hell, if it's not the first half of next year, you got dudes in the GM pipeline going to your workout, and this is what you do? At some point, it has to be like, what more can you do to prove your point on both sides? NFL, you paid the man a settlement. You paid the man a settlement because you didn't want the case to go any further, and you didn't want an actual decision in court to be made. At the same time, why wasn't media allowed to be in this workout? Hell, even NFL.com media, even Atlanta Falcons official website media, why wasn't the media allowed to be in this workout? You know this is the most high-profile tryout, and you're doing this right before the playoffs. You're doing this in a scenario where a lot of teams are trying to figure out, do I want to spend this first-round pick on Chase Young? Do I want to spend it on a quarterback who, now that Tua's hurt, I wasn't really checking for? Or do I want to spend it on the left tackle? Do I want to trade down to get a linebacker? Like, Why wasn't media allowed? And Colin, 25 teams. At some point, you have to realize, bro, I am that good. I haven't gotten a workout in 3 years. No team has flown me in to work out and try out in front of them in 3 years. I'm posting YouTube and Twitter and Instagram videos trying to get a tryout. 25 teams. We're going to see you in person. Bro, quarterback is at an all-time low. We have starting quarterbacks who ain't going to touch a Pro Bowl like ever. We have GMs and head coaches about to get fired over their quarterback decisions. And you had 25 scouts right before the playoffs, right before when you have to start mock drafting. You could have at least set yourself up for a training camp invite. And hell, once you get to training camp, all bets are off. Training camp has 120 dudes on the roster at a given time at the beginning of the process. If you don't get signed this year, who's to say you're not one of the 120 in the camp? Darnell, nobody's right and nobody's wrong in this situation. Both sides have credible arguments. One thing I will say, though, Darnell, and I would like your opinion on this before we close it out for good. I know where Stephen A. Smith is coming from. And he explains it very clearly why he says the things that he says. Because a lot of people on Twitter and in this age of social media forget that everybody can't do the shit that a lot of athletes do. Bro, I'm not telling somebody that I coach on the track team. I'm not telling somebody that I've known since they were a baby. I'm not telling anybody who I ever meet that I ever will mentor in the future, do it like this, like this. I don't even tell my wife when she comes home from work, F them. Because at the end of the day, we can't do certain things that other people can do, and we all can't do what a lot of rich people from our community can do. A lot of us ain't got FU money. At the same time, though, doubling down doesn't help, and Eric Reed and Stephen A. Smith doubling down on their opposite ends of the spectrum doesn't help Colin, and it doesn't help the kids that are looking up to Colin and thinking that the First Amendment protects you from the personal opinions and consequences that are suffered after you state your opinion. What do you think on that part?
Well, first of all, Eric Reed needs to shut the hell up. Because you're playing both sides.
Seriously.
What do I mean by that? You're standing up for Colin Kaepernick. You're going after everybody who's going at Colin Kaepernick. What are you doing for a living?
Seriously. Ironically.
He's playing in the NFL. He's playing in the National Football League for the Carolina Panthers. While your homeboy is still trying to get a job.
And Darnell, please don't forget, he's playing for the one NFL franchise that forced their owner to sell the team because of misconduct. So when you're talking ethics and policing the rich guys, you're playing for the one franchise that owner got forced to sell the team in the NFL.
So you went after Michael Jenkins, but from what reports are being told, Michael Jenkins is actually doing excellent work off the field. You went after Jay-Z, but from reports, Jay-Z is the reason why Colin Kaepernick in the NFL was working on his workout to begin with. You go at Stephen A. Smith, and the fact that y'all can keep going at each other is ridiculous.
Stephen A. Smith is the king at ESPN right now. Why in the hell would you go after Stephen A. Smith?
Stephen A. Smith, I'm a fan of Stephen A. Smith. Everybody knows that. Stephen A. Smith gonna say it how it is. He gonna say it in a proper way because of what he's working at, but he's gonna say it how it is. Stephen A. has always been a one when it comes to minorities, the total line, so to speak. Now, you know that.
This is true, very true.
Total line because opportunities don't come as often as they should. As Damian Woody said, because him and Matt Kilmer was going back and forth. It wasn't an argument. It was just, I understood Matt's point. what Matt had to understand Damien's point. Fairness doesn't exist within the minority. And the analogy Damien uses, he has a son that's turning 13, right? He says he had to sit down and have a conversation with his son about how to handle police. Why is that, Dallas? That a black man with his son at the age of 13 has to have a conversation on how to properly handle a police officer. Why is that?
Well, first of all, what parent hasn't had the conversation with their son? I mean, let's just be real. It's different. Bro, it's just different.
I love Matt. Matt see everything that needs to be fair, but the reality is it's not fair for him. You have to go about things a different way. I see both sides. Colin Kaepernick, you already knew it was on the Saturday, even though that's the part I have. Why is it on the Saturday when you know these people are getting ready to go to a game and traveling and all this other stuff? Are you going to do it on Tuesday? That's neither here or there. Two, okay, you seen the waiver, you had the waiver, you read it through it, okay. You don't like some of the stuff, you and the NFL guy go back and forth behind the bench. Apparently, you was already set up for a backup plan anyway because you waited 30 minutes to tell them you weren't going to show up there, but you're going to be almost an hour away in Riverdale at a high school. At first, I was with you. Like, dude, I don't trust the NFL either. So, but sitting here thinking about it, why would you do it 30 minutes beforehand? You couldn't do it 2-3 hours beforehand. At least give people time to see if they can make adjustments or not. When you already know most of them got to get to a game anyway. That's my issue with Colin Kaepernick. You waited 30 minutes before the initial work. If you do 2 to 3 hours, okay. Maybe you have more than 8 scouts there to see your workout. I understand the media thing. Why the media can't be in the NFL? Y'all trying to do everything behind closed doors. No, The way this is going, we need all transparency here. So if y'all say I'm not good and it's on video while the Warriors seeing it live and they say I'm not good, so be it. But if I'm good and I can do everything I can say I can do and everything that y'all need to do, everybody knows I'm better than half of the starters in the NFL. And that's about every backup. Probably except for Teddy Bridgewater. Both sides look terrible in this. I said it on Facebook. Both sides look terrible. And a team that was looking at Colin, I don't know what team was actually looking at Colin Kaepernick because they had to get the league involved because they didn't want stuff like this to happen. And it happened anyway.
That's what makes it even worse. Because here's what happened, Darnell. The teams wanted to work out Colin Kaepernick. They understood that, hey, this is ridiculous. F what you two have going on. We're trying to win games. And then the NFL says, okay, fine, we'll do it at the Falcons facility. Everybody can come. We'll have as much disclosure as possible. We're going to announce which teams are going to be there. So if you want to be like Jerry Jones, bro, how much worse it makes it look that the 25 scouts and teams were trying to avoid this. And then guess what? It makes Colin Kaepernick look worse. It takes away the argument. Because not to mention after your workout, you sat down and you pretty much called out the NFL in all 32. Because here's the thing. I remember way back when Stephen A. Smith hopped off the train when Colin Kaepernick said he wasn't going to vote. And to be honest with you, I didn't hop completely off the train, but I did too. Because I was like, whoa, hey, wait a second, wait a minute. Bro, hold on. It's up to police, but nobody wants to be a police officer. It's the government is corrupt, but nobody wants to vote. It's, we don't have any resources or whatever, but when people get some money, they don't want to donate to nonprofits, or they don't want to help Flint, or they don't want to run for mayor of Flint. It's always something. But when it's time to do the thing that directly addresses something, nobody wants to do it. With that being said, you already know all the platforms you can listen us to. Go ahead, listen, enjoy the podcast, give us feedback if you can. You can do it on Facebook, you can do it on Twitter, whichever one, don't matter, because we are always available and not hard to find. But before we close out, we have a pay-per-view
not only a pay-per-view, it's a Big Four pay-per-view, which means we have a takeover.
Yes.
Fill them in, Dallas.
Well, we got NXT versus SmackDown versus Raw. We've had a lot of brand versus brand activity on TV for the past couple of weeks. We have, we have a takeover that's going to have a War Games in it. We have triple threat matches filled with champions. We have a lot going on. But the weirdest thing is, because this is WWE related, Darnell, somebody came back, but technically they didn't come back. And somebody for 6. Somebody but
Jackson go watch that now. Watch that now.
6 years. He actually explains. You're gonna watch it, but he actually explains very early on what his situation is. So unfortunately, all those people on Twitter who are like, everybody's no, stop it. The lie is always better than the truth because of the story that it tells. But at the same time, you need to understand it's different. So there's that. I mean, I'm sure we'll spend at least 5 minutes trying to figure out what the long-term ramifications of that is. Because as you watch it, Darnell, because I'm not telling anything on this little tease, as you watch it, there'll be a lot of things in development. And now that WWE is in a situation where they're starving for a superstar, makes you wonder.
So with that being said, that's Dallas Glenn. I'm Donald, the Playmakers Donald. This is the Playmakers Wild Podcast NFL edition. Enjoy your football.
Fuck the AFC South.